Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. In the news today, the U.S. takes a bold step toward Iran's defense ministry. Pompeo announces sanctions against Iran's defense ministry here on the 21st. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced Monday new sanctions against Iran's defense ministry and Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro for supporting Iran's missile programs. Pompeo said during a press conference that he would sanction Iran's Ministry of Defense and Armed Forces Logistics, along with Iran Defense Industries organizations and its director. He said that the U.S. administration is also sanctioning Venezuela's former President Maduro for working with the Iranian regime for nearly 2 years to flout the UN arms embargo. President Donald Trump's executive order announced Monday gives the administration a new and powerful tool to enforce the UN arms embargo and hold those who seek to evade UN sanctions accountable. Pompeo added, quote, "Our actions today are warning that should be heard worldwide," Pompeo said. "No matter who you are, if you violate the UN arms embargo on Iran, you risk sanctions." Pompeo also announced sanctions Monday on Ahmed Reza Gidarian, who is the group director in the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, and Ahmed Azahari Shabi, head of the Iran centrifuge technology company under existing U.S. authority targeting proliferators of weapons of mass destruction. These individuals are central to Iran's uranium enrichment operations, he said. Then Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin announced the department's sanctions against entities that support Iran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs, including individuals affiliated with the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, which has operational and regulatory control over the nuclear program. The Treasury Department sanctioned 3 deputy directors of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran on Monday, along with 3 entities subordinates to the same organization that are active components of Iran's nuclear program, Mnuchin said. The Treasury also sanctioned several key producers and suppliers of goods for Iran's nuclear missile programs. Among those designated were Mammoet Industries and Mammoet Diesel, with several shareholders and senior officials of those companies. In particular, Mnuchin also pointed out sanctions against Shahid Hamet Industrial Group, Iran's primary developer of liquid-propelled missiles. Among others, entities sanctioned was Shahid Ali Movahed Research Center, which has played a key role in Iranian North Korean missile cooperation, according to the statement. He goes on to say, this administration will use every tool in our disposal to stop Iran nuclear ballistic missile and conventional weapons pursuit, which it uses directly to threaten and terrorize the rest of the world, Mnuchin said. Well, we're going to take a quick break right now, and you're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the Voice of Truth. Along with the Treasury sanctions, the Department of Commerce announced that it would add 5 scientists in Iran's nuclear weapons development program to its entity list. Defense Secretary Mark Esper said that sanctions were another important step toward peace after President Trump signed the Abraham Accords last week to normalize relations between the UAE and Bahrain and Israel. Meanwhile, Palestinian Authority leadership has condemned the U.S. brokered deal with Palestinians leadership, saying in a statement it destroys the Arab Peace Initiative. Give me a break. You don't destroy the initiative. It's pulling for more peace. But you are probably, well, I'm just saying, they're just like the Democrats in this country. No matter what you do to try to bring people together, they try to tear things apart. The Treasury Department also said in a statement that it reimposed UN sanctions on Ghanadi Marahe and Karimi Sabit, lifted in January 2016 under a snapback provision. However, other Security Council members have said that Washington does not have authority to execute the snapback mechanism since pulled out of the nuclear deal in 2018, which Trump called defective at its core. And of course, you probably know who they are. They're probably on the Democrat Party, those who are opposing. The UN arms embargo is set to end in October under the 2015 nuclear deal, which lifted sanctions on Iran in exchange for limits on Iran's nuclear program through 2025. U.S. officials have said that they can unilaterally reimpose sanctions through a snapback mechanism. On Sunday, Iranian's President Hassan Rouhani vowed in a televised address to respond to the United States' unilateral move to reinstate UN sanctions against Tehran. If the U.S. wants to engage in bullying, it will face Iran's rigid response, stated state-run Islamic Republic News Agency reported. Now, I don't know. I take those threats seriously since you got a bunch of crazies over there in the first place. They were behind a lot of the terrorism that occurred in recent years. Years ago, even with the towers being bombed sent by planes. Anyway, President Trump. Crazy Nancy Pelosi wants to impeach me for fulfilling constitutional obligations. If the Democrats were doing this, I've never seen anybody in the Republican Party. They might question the choice of the Democrat Party, but they're not going to impeach the people. They didn't try to impeach President Clinton for his nomination of a conservative or a liberal Justice Ginsburg. President Trump laid into House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and said she refused to rule out impeachment as a way to stall him from nominating another Supreme Court judge. In a tweet Monday, the president commented on her efforts to try and prevent him from filling late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's seat. His comments came just one day after Pelosi said in an interview that lawmakers are looking at every option to stop nomination. Quote, "We have our options," she stated. we have arrows in our quiver that I'm not about to discuss right now. Yeah, give me a break. But the fact is, we have a big challenge in our country. Pelosi has implied she won't rule out any tactic to stop the nomination from happening. You know, this is pure foolishness. The Democrat Party, it's just trouble. It's like, you know, it's like the relative in your house that comes into your house, and every time they come in, they start a fight. You ever seen that before? Even if they're wrong, they'll come in your house and disrupt your house. And that's what's happening in the House of Representatives. We have a disruptive influence there, and her name is Nancy Pelosi. And in the Senate, we have Chuck Shumar, another, I don't want to call him that, but we'll go ahead and move on right now. Democrats threaten to pack Supreme Court if Trump gets nominee confirmed, which we know he's going to get it confirmed anyway. So the packing is not going to happen, of course, until 2021. But let's read on. As President Trump moves to nominate candidate to fill the seat, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died Friday, there are a growing number of Democrats threatening to implement a radical strategy and pack the Supreme Court if they take control of the White House and the Senate. And if they take, that means the Republicans get back in office, they're going to make a big mess. So look for it, people. They're going to try more delays. You've got to vote them out of office. Those Republican Congress people who would cause this disruption, and those Republican which are in Senate, the good old boys and the good old girls that are constantly holding up our country, and it's moving forward. If he holds a vote, they say in 2020, we packed the court in 2021. Representative Joe Kennedy III, Democrat from Massachusetts, tweeted on Saturday, "It's that simple. It's that simple. Wasting the taxpayers' money once again." Okay, Mitch McConnell set the precedent. No Supreme Court vacancies filled in an election year. He didn't set no precedent. If he violates it when Democrats control the Senate in the next Congress, we must abolish the filibuster and expand the Supreme Court. Senator Ed Markey, Democrat from Massachusetts, also tweeted, the idea of packing the court with extra justices attempted unsuccessfully by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, another Democrat, in 1937 to force through parts of his New Deal that were ruled unconstitutional by the High Court, has bubbled away on the fringes of party for years. But it began to seep into the mainstream after Republicans refused to hold hearings for Merrick Garland, President Barack Obama's 2016 pick, to replace Justice Antonin Scalia because it was an election year. But President Obama was going out. President Trump is coming back in again. Consequently, the seat was held open until after 2017 inauguration of President Trump, who nominated now Justice Neil Gorsuch. Many Democrats saw the seat as stolen as a result. They're the thieves, and they're constantly accusing President Trump of being the one that stole it. He stole the stuff. They get me on that one. The Garland controversy has been cited by Democrats again and again. Now the Republicans are moving to fill Ginsburg's seat in an election year. They say that because Republicans refused to fill a seat in 2016, they should decline to fill this one in 2020. You have different presidents. You have different people who are in charge. And if President Trump chooses to do it this way, he is within his rights to do it. Republicans, however, he said that the president is with the Senate, is controlled by an opposition party to the White House. Give me a break. It's a Republican-controlled Senate. You're just trying to hold out and pray that you went back to Senate after the November election. Well, I got news for you. Most of the American people realize you Democrats are just wasting their taxpayer money, and you're, quote unquote, giving them the shaft. Let's call it that. Other Democrats have said that Democrats should consider court packing and confirmation delay and occur during a lame duck session after November 3rd. Well, forget all that garbage. If Senator McConnell and Senate GOP were forced through a nominee during a lame duck session before a new Senate president can take office, then the incoming Senate should immediately move to expand the Supreme Court House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler wrote, "We have got to get Nadler out of there, people. If you're a Republican in his district, get the Democrats and get him out of office. He is somebody that's caused major issues in our government. He is not a good candidate in there for the people." But it remains to be seen if the stance will change given Ginsburg's death and what appears to be a shifting mood in the party on the question. And I didn't like Justice Ginsburg myself. And for some reason, people they get this thing with them. Oh, they're dead now, so we don't have. I didn't like her. I didn't like what she stood for. I didn't like her rulings. A lot of stuff I didn't like that she ruled on, the way she ruled. So why does that change because she's passed on? I'm sorry. I am pro-life and I'm totally against her because she is one of the people that kept pushing this Abortion Rights Act. So anyway, which is what he called pro-choice. Democrat congressional leaders, meanwhile, have not explicitly supported court packing, but have suggested they are open to radical strategies. We need to get rid of these people, guys. Those of you listening out there, I don't care, you Democrat, Republican. I know a lot of you have joined Brexit, walking away from the Democratic plantation through this Candace Owen. But we need to get away from this garbage. They're destroying our country through these radical ideals. So we need to get them out of office. Get them out. Okay, you're watching the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert. We're going to take a short break right now. We'll be right back with you in a moment with our final story. Thank you.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What does that mean for you? More taxes taken out of your paycheck. Higher gas prices at the pump and utility bills at home. Skyrocketing medical bills. You'll compete with illegal immigrants to keep your job. An economy in ruins. President Trump is bringing jobs back. Historic gains. 10.6 million new jobs in 4 months. President Trump fixed our economy before. He's doing it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Numerous Democrats are threatening to pack the court. It says nothing is off the table, they say. Nothing is off the table. What are you saying? You going to start shooting up the cities, shooting up governors and mayors? What are you saying? Nothing's off the table. These are bizarre and dangerous power grabs by Democrats who will stop at nothing to erode the Constitution to enact their radical agenda. We've got to get them out, people. Vote them out in November, please. They're going to destroy this country. I don't care if you're a Democrat Party or not. Vote for the Democrat. Don't vote for the Democrat. Vote for the Republican because they're trying to destroy our country. And I know a lot of you Democrats out there, I spoke to you. Some of you are conservative. You don't go with this garbage. But unfortunately, there are some out there who are radical, the radical left, that are pushing. But I believe there's more of us than it is of them. Democrats who expand the court would also have acknowledged that they did not have the support from Ginsburg herself, who warned against packing last year. 9 seemed to be a good number. It's been that way for a long time, she told NPR. I think it was a bad idea when President Franklin Delano Roosevelt tried to pack the court. Well, if anything would make the court appear partisan, it would be that, she said. One side saying when we're in power, we're going to enlarge the number of judges. So we would have more people who will vote the way we want them to. So even Justice Ginsburg herself disagreed with this foolishness that the Democrat Party is trying to push through. She did not agree with Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his push to pack the court. And so that's one thing good that she did that I know about. A lot of the other stuff was on a liberal basis, and I'm not a liberal, I'm a conservative. Okay, 2 conservative female judges are President Trump's top list, on the top of the list for potential court nominees. 2 conservative female judges are at the top of President Trump's list, I said earlier, to take Beta Ginsburg, according to the reports. In a private phone call with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, President Trump named Amy Coney Barrett of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit in Chicago and Barbara Lagoya of the 11th Circuit in Atlanta as his possible choices, the New York Times reported. The president said Monday he would name his choice on Friday or Saturday, explaining that he wanted to wait until services for Ginsburg are held. The move would be both boost the conservative majority on the bench and outrage Democrats who say the nomination shouldn't happen until voters have had their say in November presidential election. You can say what you want; they're going to have their say. I don't know how you're not noticing that a lot of people in your party are walking away. Trump promised to nominate a woman to succeed Ginsburg, an icon renowned for landmark cases of gender equality. Both Barrett and Lagoya have strongly conservative track records, indicating either of them would take the court in a sharply different direction from Ginsburg's values. Thank goodness. Viewed as an anti-abortion judge, Barrett once said life begins at conception, and I agree, according to Politico. But she's also questioned whether the famous Roe versus Wade decision legalizing abortion can be overturned. That's just saying whether we can get it overturned or not. But we can fight the fight on abortion, and I guarantee you, if she can get it overturned, she will help and assist to do that. Focusing on government funding for the procedure instead, according to Bloomberg law. So, the thing is like it was saying here, that this is something that's legalizing with focus this thing on government, government funding. We should not be funding abortions. I'm sorry. And Planned Parenthood, we shouldn't be giving all our money to them. If you knew how many people, those of you who are pro-life, please Google and find out which companies are standing for Planned Parenthood in abortions and pro-choice. You will be amazed at how many companies that you support even now are standing. And I ask that you will boycott those companies. One of the such companies are, and they can say what they please, it's on the record, Liberty Mutual. Anyway, the fundamental element that the woman has a right to choose abortion will probably stand, the site quoted Barrett, who is Catholic, as saying in 2013. The controversy right now is about funding. It's a question of whether abortions will be publicly or privately funded. If they want to fund them, whatever, and they want to go to the deep end of the earth, they can go ahead and go by themselves. But don't take our country down the slide to the deep, dark recesses of the earth. And you all know what I'm talking about. Barrett is a former clerk to late Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia, a connection that is said to have appealed to Trump. The president described her highly respected during this weekend phone call with McConnell, according to the New York Times. Barrett, 48, was born and raised in New Orleans, according to Politico. And Barbara Lagoya, who is Cuban-American, made a splash near the start of her career by working on the unpaid attorney for the family of Elian Gonzalez, the Cuba-born boy whose custody case set off an international fury, and I remember that one. Well, we're going to take a short break right now, and we'll be right back with you in a moment as we go forward to close.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatma on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatma.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What does that mean for you? More taxes taken out of your paycheck. Higher gas prices at the pump and utility bills at home. Skyrocketing medical bills. You'll compete with illegal immigrants to keep your job. An economy in ruins. President Trump is bringing jobs back. Historic gains. 10.6 million new jobs in 4 months. President Trump fixed our economy before. He's doing it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush nominated her to, what's her name? Pardon me, Barbara LaGoya. I couldn't remember which justice I was talking about. Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush nominated Barbara LaGoya to an appeals court, and current Governor Ron DeSantis chose her for the state Supreme Court, the first Hispanic woman in her role, according to Politico. Well, right now, I just want to give you an opportunity. Here at the Black Conservative Voice, we do take sponsors, businesses, political campaigns. If you want to advertise on this channel, maybe you can advertise, you Democrats can advertise and refute what I'm saying here. But if you want to advertise with our company, CTM News Network, you're welcome to do so. The email's in the bottom of the screen here, and you can go ahead and give us a call. We send you the information where you can become a sponsor of CTM News and our affiliate channels. Okay, her conservative credentials, we're talking about LaGoya here. Her conservative credentials include membership in the influential Federalist Society. LaGoya is 52, and like Barrett, she is Catholic. Nominating LaGoya could boost Trump's odds in the swing state of Florida, attracting Latino voters. And this comes from a liberal rag, especially right-leaning Cuban Americans. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Republican from Kentucky, was expected to start readying for confirmation process this week. There are 53 Republicans in the Senate to get appointed the next Supreme Court nominee. All they need is 51 votes. So you see what I'm saying here. Other candidates reportedly under consideration by President Trump include Judge Allison Jones Rushing, 38, of the Fourth Circuit in Richmond. And no matter how you would look at it, these are the finest people in the nation, young people, pretty young for the most part. Trump said of the contenders, he said to Fox News on Monday. Well, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Black Conservative Voice, here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Once again, we need to vote Republican in the November election. And I'm not saying that because I don't agree with all of the past Democratic candidates, but the problem is we have a whole radicalized Democratic Party out there that's going around and just making a big mess of everything. Joe Biden wants to make you wear a mask everywhere. He wants to keep it in line until he gets ready to take it out. So once again, we need to vote Republican, vote President Trump back in office so we can continue moving to a positive direction. And we can continue to support the fossil fuel industry because they want to destroy it. The Democrats are always talking about these things, oh, green power, green energy. Give me a break. All they want to do is take away American jobs and give it to overseas people. And for it as China, they want to do that. Oh, Biden is bad. He's upset because his China deals are going to the pot because President Trump has put tariffs on China's goods. And I love our president for taking a stand for America. So once again, I want to thank you for joining me here on the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert, and I want to say to you, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Good night.